This week's Sidra, we get to spend a little more time with one of the most interesting villains in the entire Torah, and that is Lavan. Lavan is the schemer. Lavan is the man with an angle. Lavan is the guy who everything that is done, he's got to do it in a way. One of the insights that I had is that Lavan is a person who looks for win-lose scenarios. You know, and you speak about negotiation, you talk about win-win where everybody benefits. You speak about lose-lose where everybody loses. And you speak about win-lose where you lose, you win and the other guy loses. Now, most of the time we try, obviously, for win-win scenarios. That's not Lavan's goal. It seems, and maybe we'll discuss this in a future year, but it seems that Lavan would rather have a win-lose than a win-win. He wants to know, not only was he successful, but that because of his success, you're less successful. But we always find it with Lavan, and so when we have Lavan making statements that sound a little strange to our ear, we need to look carefully at them to see what they are. We first have Yaakov arriving at Lavan's house, wants to marry Rachel, and he opens the negotiations to Lavan. And he says to Lavan, I will serve you for 7 years. I'll work for you for 7 years to marry your younger daughter Rachel. Now, why he has to say younger daughter Rachel? Rashi says because Lavan's such a crook. If you don't spell out to him exactly who it is, he's going to find some other girl called Rachel, make some other kind of plan, fine. So he says, I'll work for you for 7 years. Lavan's response is not yes, and it's not no. Lavan says, it is better, tov titi, or talach, it is better that I should give it to you, rather than giving her to somebody else, shva imadi, and therefore stay with me. Strange answer. I put it on the table, I'll work for 7 years, I get Rachel. You want to sign the contract? It's better for me to gift her to you than to gift her to somebody else. Now, Orach Chaim points out two things over here. The first one is the word matana, which means a gift. I translated it like that. When you don't say to your boss, if I work for you for a month, will you give me the gift of some money? No, it's remuneration. That's the deal, right? Remuneration. I put in my time, which is worth money. You put in the money, which is also worth money, right? So that's what's happening. I work for you. You give me Rachel. No, if you work for me, I'll gift you Rachel. That's the first one. Better to give it to you than to give it to somebody else. Lavan's saying like this. Says the Orach Chaim. I am not signing a contract with you. I am not telling you that after 7 years you get Rachel. What I'm telling you is, I reserve the rights at any point to give Rachel to whichever prospective son-in-law I choose. If you work for 7 years, that certainly makes you the most attractive option. And so it is better for me to give it to you, who's going to work for 7 years, than to give it to somebody else who isn't. But I'm not signing this contract with you. Now, I'm not sure if Yaakov understood that context, because 7 years I understood that message. Because 7 years later, we find Yaakov coming back and saying to Lavan, I've finished my term of service, please can I have my wife? So I think Yaakov seeing this as Lavan saying yes, but the Torah is careful to tell us Lavan's words. Lavan's not saying yes. It's just reminded of a similar case that actually Amazon.com had a few years ago with one of their Kindle books, that they put out these books and people bought the book, and then for whatever reason Amazon pulled the book. Now that means on my Kindle it disappeared, or maybe I didn't have it on. I was going to download it tomorrow. It's gone. I can't get it anymore. So people called up Amazon. They said, where's our ebook? We paid for it. Amazon said, no, it's not yours. We never sold you the book. We sold you the rights to read the book from our server, but the book doesn't belong to you. And it was a whole case exactly what happened. But that's the same kind of structure that Lavan is making over here. Lavan's saying to Yaakov, I am not agreeing to you. If you work for me for 7 years, then I may choose to give Rachel to you. But if not, I reserve the right. And what we see again, Lavan's underhanded kind of decision and using legalistic phrases in such a way that, as I say, I think Yaakov was taken in by this. That it sounds like he's agreeing, but actually he's playing his own game. It's very, very difficult to deal with Lavan. Please God, we won't have to. Shabbat Shalom.